Well, it'll be a bit colder up here in northern Arizona, but I wasn't really expecting snow on the ground. Now I know I'm going to see some petroglyphs today that I've seen before, some nice ones, and also hoping to find some new ones, walking some new ground. There's a chance for petroglyphs on some of these dark faces, but I haven't seen any so far. Looks freshly chopped, but that's rock. Well, I haven't seen any petroglyphs so far. Not too surprised, but probably our next stop is going to be at a, I would describe it as fairly well-known petroglyph site. That's not my preferred way to do it. I'd rather find new things, or if I go to one I've been to before, have it sort of obscure. But this one's got nice petroglyphs, and we'll at least make a pass through it. Well, it's sort of cool with the petrified log sticking out of the ground. This little one looks like it could be part of the original. Well, we're to the petroglyphs, and that spiral over there is one of the best ones you'll see. That one's a real beauty. Got a couple other ones nearby. This pattern over here, it's nicely made. There's a guy down there. There he is in my shadow. There's a little snake here, also in my shadow. I can give him sun. I can see some on that rock down there. I'm gonna get my shadow out of the way. Some feet, some more patterns. And you know, I'm afraid that one of the more interesting rocks here is this one covered with snow. I remember seeing this one before and taking pictures. Look at all the very deep pecking, many different features. The whole face is covered. I don't think I'll knock it off. Maybe what I'll do is stick in an old picture, one I've taken before, that shows what's underneath this one. This is another one I remember, although it's smaller than I remember. Look at those birds. It's patterned. There's probably a bighorn. For some reason I think those are macaws, which are something that they kept. Some of the ancient natives came up from Central America, and then they actually bred them up here. I'll show you how big this is, because I don't think, like I said, I was surprised how small it is to see it today. But that's a nice one. I walked around the other three sides of this rock before finding the petroglyphs on this side. A lot of turkey tracks on this side. Nice, I imagine that's a square spiral, or maybe just squares, not sure. A little bit faded, that guy, and maybe some feet. That's a pretty nicely decorated rock. I'm going to leave that petroglyph site now. I just came up to this corner and looked around, and there are a couple of petroglyphs here. I may have seen these before. But a snake and a couple guys, one with a headdress. And there's another sort of lizard man over here. Looks like pottery. Yeah, black stripe. It's some black on white. Well, there's a piece I can see from here. It's corrugated. See, with ridges on it. Sometimes it's a waffle pattern or diamond. A little more interesting than this one. I see a couple decent pieces here. It's corrugated over there, and this is a black on white. Paint's coming off. See, this is a better example of what I mentioned with these, I guess maybe herringbone? What do you want to call that? Dimples? How about this one? Oh, okay. That's black and white. Is that pottery? It's pretty big piece. Yeah, that's the top of a rim. You can see it's going around in a circle that way. A little wet with mud. There's a black and white and a corrugated right next to each other. Well, here's a little concentration. Maybe somebody arranged these. They probably gathered them and then made their little museum pile, which is frowned upon. That's plain. You can see corrugated. This is a reddish corrugated one. Apparently this was there's some habitation here on this, probably on this flat below the mesa. This is a bit of petrified wood that may have been flaked off into a tool. It's good for that. This stuff flakes pretty sharp all by itself, so it's hard to tell. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe this little hill, this little high spot below the mesa may have been a good spot to put a habitation place, so I'll walk up there and have a look. Well, going up, seeing rocks without any pottery, which makes me less hopeful, but I just noticed this. There's some stacked stone over there. So let's see what that looks like. Huh. That's certainly man-made. I can't imagine why anyone would have made this in modern time. But I did just notice a piece of pottery here. Corrugated. I'll look around a little more. There's maybe another couple little pieces right here. Let me get out of the sun. Some black on white. I'll paint on both sides. Oop. Just plain. Another one. Going back down the sandy hill. I noticed the black on white. Sort of interested that it's sort of a twisted piece. I'm not sure what kind of vessel that would have been. Oh, there's a light gray corrugated. More straight lines than the diamond pattern. It's a pretty bright red one. There's another one of the tan over here. There's these reddish diamond pattern ones. Again, must be a habitation site around here. Oh, here's a black on white face up right there. Pick it up and see what's on the other side. It's quite a thin one, I can feel. Just plain on this side. I think most of this decorated stuff, the corrugated and the black on white, dates from what I think archaeologists call Pueblo III, which I think is the later time of the ancestral Pueblans, maybe like around 1300. And before that, you know, that was sort of a height of the civilization. Before that, the earlier ones only had unpainted pottery, plain pottery. And you go back, you know, another 1,000 years and you get the basket makers, which didn't have pottery at all. They used woven baskets for their purposes of carrying things and storing things. Plain white. This one over there looks like some ancient tic-tac-toe. Some X's in the squares and a big O. Yeah, I think that was a pretty accurate description of that one. I can see a really nice one over there that I remember that I have to get close to. It's a little bit, coming from this way, it might be a little tricky. We'll see. Here's a couple little feet I'm very close to, standing on some steep stuff. And here's another little one up high. The one I want to get to is, oh, down there somewhere. I got to get down there to find it again. Well, it's going to be as close as I get to this one today. Between the snow and the way I chose to come, it's a little too difficult to get closer. This is a really nice one. You can see the rock has split sometime since it was made. I got a good view of this one from here. Well, that petroglyph was a lot of work. It was not easy to get up or down. There's one of them face up there. Well, actually a couple. Some fingernails. Lizard man, and I can't quite tell the other one. Oh, this is a really nice one. I knew this was here somewhere. I couldn't remember where, and I just looked to the side. There it was. You can see this boulder, the lower one, is on side. It is likely fallen down the hill since it was made. I may rotate a picture to talk about it, but you can see a guy with a really fancy headdress, or candelabra it looks like, with 3 guys on his right, 2 guys on his left. Look like they're attendants or something. A pattern above that, and another fancy pattern above that. That one's very cool. And above that, it's another fancy one. It looks like it's probably rolled down the hill as well. A number of patterns on it. Best way to put it. Again, I think these are later ones. You know, probably 700 or 800 years ago. A little bit closer. Another fancy pattern up there. Unfortunately, it's a bit degraded. Here's another nice one. Curious thing at lower left. A foot above that. Lizard up high. Just look down, and that's a pretty big corrugated piece. Worth picking up, looking at. Same color as the ground. Just dark brown. Somebody made a little pile up here. Gathered them up. I could scatter them again. Some people would do that, but oh, I don't have any right to. Look at that one. That's quite a fancy one. Lots of different kinds. Corrugated and painted. This I guess I skipped over it, but this black on red is more unusual, and that's nice to find. Oh, and this is worth picking up. It's a nice, the nicest pieces of corrugated we've seen today. And look at that, might be have black paint. Black on red on one side, corrugated on the other. Maybe so. There's a big bird nest built right into that overhang there. I don't know what kind. Could be a hawk. But that's pretty cool. Don't know if it's active or an old abandoned one. I've noticed the snow is not that slippery, but the mud around it is. I've learned that experimentally. Quite a pedestal. Well, I think we get over this one. We'll look at these rocks over here. Here's a couple petroglyphs. Concentric circles. One of them in pretty good shape. One of them flaking off a little more. Something on this one I can see. There's a guy. I have to move my shadow. Oh, interesting pattern. Use some dots. Okay, this one looks pretty cool. I've probably seen it before, but I don't remember it. You see the whole bottom part of it is sort of flaked off. But if we move up, that's remnants of a bear track. There's a person. Not sure what to call that. Looks like a three-toed foot. Some fancier little small stuff at the top. That's pretty nicely made. Little, I guess that's a person. Oh, what's this one? Huh. Let's see. 8 electrons. 8 is oxygen. 8 in the outer shell, that would be neon, I think. Over there. Pretty, would have been pretty nice initially. It looks a little sloppy now and it's degrading a bit. You can see a few patterns on there. Looks like a guy sort of sideways, head down just above that rectangular pattern. But he's, I don't know whether that's lichen grown in that or what. Looks like a big snake over there. A big squiggle.